Hello Fellow Potatoes, we have a new section in our channel which is drumrolls Hyper Potatoes secret recipe. Yay. So in this section we'll be doing a deck profile, and for the first episode some people have asked me the updates on my Zetta deck, so here it is, my deck profile for the Zetta Demon Rush deck. First, the flag is of course Hero World, and the body I choose is the Light Demon Exephon Pose. Let's put them aside for now. Okay, it won't be called a Zetta deck if it doesn't have Zetta. So first, I run 4 copies of Armor Demon Zetta. By paying 2 gauge, you can in fact transform into this card. It's a size 3 impact monster with 10 to 3. If you are transformed into this card on the field cannot be destroyed nor returned to hand. It's basically it stays on the field until the end of the game. And you can call impact monsters as many times in one turn. And what makes this card really strong is because when an impact monster enters your field, for this turn this card gets critical +1. You can imagine if you like impact call 3 times in a turn, this card will have a critical of 5. Next, I run 2 Revolutionary Zetta. I run 2 of these because like this is the second best Zetta, and you can't only play 4 Zetta in a Zetta deck, right? So yeah, I run 2 of these. Next up, I have 1 Demonic Bell Demon Zetta. This Zetta is actually a random choice. No, not a random choice actually. Yeah, I ran this for an extra Zetta in my deck, and for its second ability, discard from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, put an impact monster from drop zone into your hand. Like so, this card can salvage any Dark Demon for attacks or Light Demon for defense, or any other cards you need. And the first effect, whoops, my bad, a call just came in, and yeah. Let's continue from where I left. The first skill of the Demonic Bell Demon Zetta is at the beginning of your final phase, you may discard a card from your hand and put this card from the field into your drop zone. If you do, choose up to 1 impact monster with Zetta in its card name from your deck. Impact transform into it by paying the cost, search your deck for up to 1 impact monster with Gym Clone and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So we won't be using the search Gem Clone skill, but instead the impact transform into Zetta if you don't have 1 in your hand. So like you can call this Bell Phase, swing for 2. Then final phase, impact transform into Zetta, and then you can play the impact monster hard impact tactics. Next up, my buddy monster, Light Demon Exephon Pose. Of course, I will run 4 of these. This card is really strong. It is a size 3 impact monster with 6 to 6. But its skill, if you have a card with Zetta in its card name on your field, this card can get defense plus 2k, and this card can be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. So it's immune to any destruction effect. Plus it has an 8000 defense now with Soul Guard and counter attack. This card is really good. It can be like your fortress holding your Zetta from any attacks, and if it has enough power to like attack, it also will be destroyed with counter attack. This is really good. Okay, the other option for the body is the Dark Demon. This is the counterpart of the Light Demon. When Light Demon is for defense, this card is for attack. It's a size 3 impact monster with 7 to 5. If you have a card with Zetta, this card gains power plus 3k and critical plus 1. So he is a critical 3 penetrate monster. But like in Zetta you can keep calling impact monsters, so you can call, swing for 3 and call again, swing for 3, call again, swing for 3. Like if your opponent center is dual Jaeger, you can just like keep penetrate 3, penetrate 3, penetrate 3. It's just rough dealing with 3 crit penetrate. Next up, I have 2 Mask Vintage Lavish Body Gorgeous Mask. This card is not a Dark Demon, but it's really strong. You can pay 2 gauge, return a monster or item from your field into your hand for its call cost, and it's 7/3/6. When this card is destroyed, you may transform into or write into a card with Transform Light without paying the cost from your hand. And it also have move. Basically, you won't be using the button effect, but you will be using only the call cost. Like the ideal condition is you have 1 of the Dark Demon in your hand and 2 of these. So first you impact call Dark Demon, swing for 3, like pay 2 gauge, return this back to your hand, call the Vantage, swing for 3. After that, pay 2 gauge, return back to hand, call the other Vantage, swing for 3 again, pay 2 gauge, return back to hand, call the other Vantage, swing for 3 until you run out of gauge. Like, and if you have 1 last gauge, you can call again. You can just retire oversize and attack again with the Dark Demon. That's a lot of damage. Oops. And you will be also having this Zetta, whose critical will probably gone up by 4 or 5, I don't know. That's super strong. Next, going back to the demons, I have the Flame Demon Mega Eclipses. I run 1 copy of this. It's a size 3 impact monster with 7/5. Call cost pay 1 gauge. When this card enters the field, you can destroy a monster in your opponent's field. This card is really good against decks like Dragon's Y or the Jackknife Star Dragon World, when you can call, pop it, destroy a soul, and then attack again. So you basically like destroying it twice. Yeah. And he's also powerful. The 7k power basically hits everything. Next up, I run 2 Wind Ghost Aerial. Actually, I will be running more Mega Eclipses, but in this meta where Atora, a lot of people play Atora, I recommend playing this instead. This is a size 2 impact monster, 5/4. When its card enters the field, return a card from your opponent's field into his or her hand. So, since Atora can be destroyed by card effect, you would like just want to return it back to hand, so it needs to use its Soul Guard. And then you can attack with your Zetta, or maybe if you have the Dark Demon or what. And it's also good for returning items, like maybe if your opponent plays Spell Poet, whose right cost is quite costly, you can just return it back to hand, because the item, I do believe the Liquor Overlord, is only negating destruction, not returning back to hands. Next, the MVP of the deck, Wind Demon Kololun. Back when Zetta was first released, this card doesn't play much in the deck, but right now I think this card is really strong, because you can do a simple funny combo with the Armored Demon Zetta. Like if you go first turn, you can Impact Transform, call Kololun, call another Kololun, and then swing for 4. End turn, both of these return back to your hand. So what is Kololun is a size 0 monster, 3/1/1. With the skill at the end of your turn, you may return this card to your hand. As simple as that. It's also good because like you see most of the card in my deck is a size 3 monsters. So yeah, you can make a full Gao formation with this, especially against Iron, so you can link attack. Okay, that's it for the monsters. Let's go to the spell. The first one is Armor Talisman Fine Joker. search your deck for one impact monster with Zetta or Gem Clone, add to your hand. Yeah, basically this is just another searcher for Zetta. So I've run a total of 6, 7, 9 Zetta in my deck. You can also use this to search for the Revolutionary Zetta if you already have the Armor Demon one. Because the Revolutionary one has a critical of 3. So like if you need critical 3, you can just take this instead of the Armor Demon, call it attack. Next up, Armor Talisman to draw. Just as it said, this card can only be cast during your final phase. If you have a Zetta, by paying 1 gauge you can 2 draw. Yes, just like that. You know that drawing cards is really good in card games. Next up, Armor Talisman 3 gauge. Just as it say, if you have Zetta, charge 3. Next up, because I like to draw and charge, I play gauge and draw, 3 gauge and draw. Like, you know, gauge and your hand is really important in this deck. You want a lot of gauge to pull off the Vantage combo, and you need to keep drawing impact monsters so you can keep call, do hard impact tactics. So I run 3 of these. Discard an impact monster from your hand, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, and draw 2 cards. Next up, the strongest card in Hero World. Hyper Energy! Hyper Potatoes. So, I think every Hero World decks run this card. It's as simple as put the top 4 cards from your deck into your gauge. As simple as that. And that's the strongest card in Hero World. Next up, for the defense card, first I run 3 Armor Talisman Void Hole. This is, you can only cast this if you are being attacked, not your monsters. And by paying 1 life, you can nullify the attack, and if you have Zetta, you can salvage an impact monster from your drop zone back into your hand. This card is really good. Like, you only have 1 Vantage in your hand, you can salvage the other one from your, my bad. Can salvage the other one from your drop zone back to your hand. Or maybe like if you need to pop something, you can salvage Mega Eclipses, you need to bounce, or you need a defense with Light Demon or attacking with Dark Demon. This card can basically salvage any impact monster in your drop zone. Actually, I was thinking about running 4 of these, but for now, I'll stick to 3. Next up, more defense card. Defeat them in my place. Some people ask me why do I run this card. The first one is because, yeah, like cards like this are really strong. Back in the days, like Devil Stigma, Benefit, where you can, oh yeah, let me read the skill first. The cast cost is put a monster from your field into your drop zone. Then put the top card of your deck into your gauge, and for this turn, the next damage you will be dealt to you is reduced by 0. Yeah, as simple as that. But it's really good because if your opponent is attacking your monster with move, like maybe a real Bellface move, your opponent attacks, you can just cast Defeat Them in My Place, destroy a real, so it will be miss target, the attack will miss target, and the next damage dealt to you will become 0. But that's not the only reason. You can also play this in your turn. Like if you're 1 gauge short to call your Light Demon or your Dark Demon for the game, you can just pop 1 monster with this, gain 1 gauge, and use the gauge to like call more monsters. Next, I run 2 copies of first Darkhero Hideout. So this is a set spell where you can, for each time you call Darkhero monsters, you can draw a card once per turn. Like this synergies really well with the Wind Demon Kololun, so you can impact call, draw 1, at the end of the turn, return back to your hand. Next turn you can call again, draw one again. You can keep having one extra draws each turn. Looking for answers. Next up, I have 3 Armor Talisman Finish Road. This is like a surprise box for your opponent when your opponent less expect you don't have anything left. Finish Road. Like maybe if you have 4 Dark Demon in your drop zone, you can just Finish Road. What is this? You can only cast this during your final phase if you have a Zetta in your field. Put an impact monster from your field into your drop zone. Counter call an impact monster from your drop zone by paying its call cost. Since our main hitter here only needs 1 gauge, usually Finish Road will be enough. Like swing for 3, you can Finish Road. Finish Road, destroy the Dark Demon, and then call it back by paying 1 gauge. Swing for 3 again. And if you have more Finish Road, you can keep playing them because it's not once per turn. Swing for 3, swing for 3, swing for 3. That's really good. And the last 2 cards of my main deck is the Energy Absorption Machinery. This card is a staple in Hero World. This card is just really good right now. With the cast cost, pay 1 gauge, put a card from your opponent's gauge and a soul from a card in your opponent's field into his or her drop zone, and you gain 1 life, gain 2 life. Like this is really good against Atora. You can put the gauge off the drop zone, so he cannot use Radiant Shell, or while also putting a soul from their Atora to the drop zone, while you also gain 2 life protection from the Impact Cristiano Crystal Shoot. And it's basically really good against all the soul decks like Dual Jaeger, Oni Assassins. Like even if you put the soul, it will probably it's just Amanojaku draw 1, doesn't really matter. You will just keep on hitting 3 for the game. Okay, that's it for my main deck. Now let's move on to the sideboard. The first 2 card, everyone runs this, is remove. Pay 1 gauge, put up to 2 souls from a card and field into your drop zone. Most of the meta now plays decks with a lot of souls, like Atora, Bell Poets, Oni Assassins. You can just put 2 down and then Mega Eclipses, pop 1. If it's Atora, maybe you can like hit with Dark Demon or what. Next up, another generic card, Barbed Wire. I run 2 of these for mirror match against a Hero World, like maybe Zeta or Bell Poets or any other deck that runs weapon. Like the Dual Spark from Thunder Empire is also really annoying. Like you can just rest it, so he cannot triple attack something. Next, I run 2 Neoplasma Mine. This is also really good right now with a lot of buds hanging around. It cannot be destroyed, but its call can be nullified with this. Pay 2 gauge, nullify the call if your opponent calls a size 2 or less monster. This is also good for like Oni Assassin, the Rashomon, the Cockroach one who has move and Soul Guard. It's really annoying. So like he calls, just I nullify the call. You're not gonna call that. Next up, I run 2 or so the dream I had when. Pay 2 gauge, nullify the spell cast by your opponent. Actually, this is a really good card even in your main deck, but considering there's a lot of Dragon's Eye right now, so I don't run this in my main deck anymore. I put this into the side instead. Like what I say, Zeta's critical can goes up into like 5, 6, and with Dark Demon with 3 criticals and Kololun 1 criticals, everyone link as attack, and when he says green dragon shield, you can just know you're dreaming, mate. Pop. Or so the dream I had meant. Nullify the spell. Boom. Game 10 damage. Oh yeah. It's really good against Dragon Ein, who runs a lot of shield. Like you just keep calling, then hit hard with Zetta. When he nullifies, just go, you're dreaming. Next, the last two cards from my sideboard is actually, I don't really play this much, but just be safe. Demonic Bell, Demon Zetta. I use this to fight against the Star Dragon World Zodiac. I do believe it has the Dragon Eraser that shut down the final phase. Hindlands, is it? Yeah, basically if he has Hindlands in the Zodiac Soul, you cannot play any card from your hand during your final phase. So that's when this Zetta plays a role. You can call this attack for 2. Hopefully he is Soul Guard with the Hindlands. And then final phase, you can Impact Transform from your deck. So you can swing again, hit the Zodiac. At least you're not completely die. You can keep hitting the Zodiac with this until you have the chance to play the other Impact monsters. Okay, buddies, that's the end of my deck recipe. I do believe there's a lot more room for this deck to be improved, but I think this is the best list I have for now. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please keep supporting us. Like our page on Facebook. There's a lot of Buddyfight content there too. And subscribe to our channel. For now, Hyper Potatoes signing out. Oh yeah, this is also the first time I'm recording alone. I'm missing Potato XX right there. Signing out.